Good evening, Miss Peter. Today I shall be talking about does control by employees extend to out of our conduct. The main ways such conduct will be extended outside of work will be via social media and the workplace. Many companies, like Service Australia, does not ban employees from using social media outside of work. However, they do have codes of conduct when it comes to using it outside of work, as the things employees say online can damage the reputation of the company and the reputation of themselves. Now, Services Australia acknowledges that employees are private citizens who can use social media outside of work. However, when using social media, employees usually are asked to be lawful with what they say and to respect APS's values and codes of conduct. The test for this type of codes and the conducts expected is set up by Rose versus Telstra Corporation Limited, 1998, which states well, an employer can fire employees for out of work conduct when the conduct can be viewed objectively is likely to cause serious damage to relationship between employers and employees. The conduct damages the employer's interests, and the conduct is incompatible with the employee's duties as an employee. So, what is an example of such conduct? Well, it can be seen in Watchers versus Mount Arthur Co. Pty Limited, and basically it was before Christmas, and Mr. Waters, which was an employee of this company, stated on Facebook publicly to all his other fellow employees that Xmas and Boxing Days are off for good, so no shifts on those days. However, that was an incorrect information, and this led to many employees of Mount Arthur Co. thinking that Xmas and Boxing Days were off for good. So they made plans, and they were later very disappointed when, well, it wasn't true. So Mr. Arthur fired Mr. Waters as he breached the company's policy on social media and the values of integrity, respect, and accountability. Mr. Waters took this to the Fair Work Commission and argued that it was an unfair dismissal as it was something that happened outside of work. But the Fair Work Commission says that um, a failure to comply with a lawful and reasonable policy is a breach of the fundamental terms of contract of employment that obliges employees to comply with the lawful and reasonable direction of the employer. And like I said, when you tell your fellow employees and disrupt their ability to work on certain days, it's definitely going to damage the employer's interests and it's incompatible with the employee's duty as an employee and probably will cause serious damage between the relationship of the employer and the employee. So, what are the limits of social media policy? Well, for instance, in Escape Hair Design, Miss Fitzgerald was very disappointed with her workplace and stated on Facebook that, oh, she got a very bad bonus, no holiday pay, and sarcastically said that the hairdressing industry rocks, which she implies it doesn't, as she is not treated very well. And Escape Hair Design saw this and fired Miss Fitzgerald. But the federal court ruled that this was unfair dismissal as firstly, Ms. Fitzgerald's comments were made only accessible to her Facebook friends and not to the wider public. Secondly, such comments were not sufficient to damage either the salon or the hairdressing industry. And thirdly, the employer's failure to mention the posting for some weeks indicates that they really didn't care, but they just want to find an excuse. So you can't just fire employees for making comments on social media for no reason. Just because it insults the employer is not necessarily a ground that, well, is a ground for termination. However, Escape Hair Design does establish that employees cannot assume that off-duty social media activities are private and outside of the employer's controls, as anonymity can always be eroded. So, what can we learn from all of this? Well, according to Louis Thornwich, AIRC and FWC rules that majority of termination based on social media posts fail to amount to misconduct sufficient to legitimate termination of employment, like we have seen with Escape Hair Design. However, it does show that employer control does extend to social media and general conduct of the employees after hours, and employees should try to follow its company's social media policy, the laws, and common sense on their representation of their companies in social media after work, and ask themselves, does the thing they say online harm the reputation of their company and its interests? Thank you very much.